let's have a serious conversation about Wix Editor X. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's scroll. In today's conversation, we want to talk about Wix Editor X. Okay, it's important to understand that people have been saying this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate website builder tool for professionals. The question is this true or this pure hype? One thing for sure, when we talk about Editor X, we're speaking about a product that is that's coming from Wix, okay? And Wix is perhaps a top tier website builder tool. They are way ahead of their competitors, WooCommerce, Shopify, and Squarespace, to name a few. And right now, Wix is home for over 7 to 8 million websites, okay? And it's really important to understand that about 2 years ago, Wix decided to release the next generation of website builders, and they called it Wix Editor X. And Editor X claimed to present users with top of the class features to set up their website with no requirements of technical knowledge. In other words, they're basically appealing to another market here. The question is this pure hype? So in today's conversation, I will be talking about what Wix Editor is, the Editor X, how much is it, what are the differences between Wix, the basic, the primary product, and Editor X. We'll be talking about templates, features. Is the product easy to use? We'll be speaking about intuitiveness. This is really important. And what are the apps, what are the integrations that you need to think about as you are going through the Editor X? And the bottom line for us is to make sure and tell you whether or not you should buy this Editor X tool. It's also important to understand that before you make a decision, you need to know what your resources are, what your clients are. Okay, if you are on the B2B side or the B2C side, or you're just trying to have a fantastic website, you need to know your needs. It's also important to understand that Wix has been known for customer service, but right now, as of the date of this show, the customer service on the Editor X side is a little lethargic. In other words, they're not really responsive yet. I mean, this is a new product, a relatively new product, so they're still building the customer service process on that end. So if you have a question, you're going to have to go through a Wix person before you can get to an Editor X person. It would be nice, Wix, if you're listening to us, it would be nice to have a dedicated Editor X staff for client issues. So to start, you need to sign up on the link shown on the screen right now. So users.editorx.com/signing. Let me talk to you about the template. So one thing we have seen in our research is that Wix has way more templates than their competitors, but you can customize more with Editor X. So basically, if you go with Wix, you have a set number of templates. Editor X doesn't have that many, but with Editor X, you can definitely customize. You can use bespoke tools, bespoke modules, okay? And when we talk about Wix has over 850, give or take, templates in their gallery, broken down into 5 major categories, right? So, I mean, this could be 6 if you count the blank templates, and around 80 subcategories, so you can easily zero in on your niche. If none of them feels quite right, you can always build your own site from scratch, okay? And we love the variety. We love the constellation of templates here. And this is really good. It adds a lot of variety. It adds not only variety in terms of design, but variety in terms of final products, in terms of final websites, okay? And one thing we love with Wix is that their templates, many templates come with specific apps pre-installed. So this is really good. So, and those apps are ready to go. They're actually built to be functional. And Editor X, on the other hand, has just 28 templates as of the date of this show. So think about it. Wix has over 850 templates. Editor X has 28 templates. So you can see the delta here, okay? And Editor X is designed for developers and agencies, the kind of users that wouldn't want a cookie cutter website. So this is something you need to think about. And here are the some of the templates available as of the date of this show. So you have blank templates, you have design and motion studio, you have jewelry store. So this could be online store, sticky position, or grid. This is the design. Tech company, financial company, gaming startup, product landing page, landscape architecture firm, a SaaS company or something related, culinary consultant, artist showcase, design portfolio, design collection, fitness studio, coming soon landing page, branding agency, product launch, coming soon landing page, beauty store, modeling agency, visual portfolio, fashion store, music festival, magazine, accessories store, product launch, photography portfolio, spa and beauty salon. Let me talk to you now about features, folks. So basically, we're still doing a quick compare and contrast between Wix and the Wix Editor X. And one thing I want to tell you right off the bat is that Wix has tons of features, but Editor X has all that and more. In other words, with Wix, you can do a lot of, you have access to a constellation of features. But with Editor X, you can customize stuff. You can customize the whatever you currently have, okay? And so when we talk about those two, if you are a current Wix user, you can see that with Editor X, you have an upgrade, okay? You have a more ability to customize your features, you have a greater ability to change things around, to actually modify things based on your preference. Let me give you an example. The Wix Stores app, which lets you sell both digital and physical products from your site, as well as on Amazon and Facebook, can be installed on any Wix template. And Wix also has a built-in SEO whiz and a whole suite of business tools, plus blogging tools, a video maker, a stock image and video library, vector graphics, tools to manage bookings and events, and apps for almost every functionality you can think of. But here's the thing though, Editor X comes with everything that Wix has and more. In fact, Editor X is basically a more advanced version of Wix. So this is how I want you to think of it that way. So if you have some kind of experience with Wix, there will be a lot more to learn in Editor X because not only do you have things that are already familiar, but you have more things. You have shinier new tools. Okay, for example, Editor X gives you more control over how your site looks and functions across devices, so you can easily build mobile responsive sites. Okay, and you can actually set breakpoints or the points at which your elements change style or layout for different screen sizes. Okay, and the software also lets you add animations like fading, bouncing, flipping, or spinning to virtually any site element to make your site more dynamic. Okay, and Editor X, the software is great for team players as well. You can create separate accounts for each team member and set specific permissions. You can add comments in the editor about particular elements for other team members. So bottom line is everyone can reply in real time, and this really makes the whole process much easier for a team of designers working on the same site, okay? And Editor X comes with a lot of other great designer-friendly features like controlling how elements are docked and managing workflow across different work streams, okay? And one thing you need to think about is if you are a developer, Editor X is a dream come true, because it has a constellation of extra features that make it ideal for designers that like drag and drop builders. Let's talk about ease of use, folks. So the question is that as we are doing an in-depth review of this Editor X, the question is Wix is the more beginner-friendly choice. So if you are a beginner with no coding knowledge, with nothing at all, you want to go with Wix. you definitely don't want to go with Wix Editor X because this requires more knowledge, okay? And one thing you need to understand is that Wix's drag and drop editor is very intuitive, especially when you think about how much you can do with it, okay? It's based on adding strips, which are stacked to form web pages. And the cool thing here is that once you do that, you can drag and drop other elements like text boxes, buttons, images, and contact forms into these strips and customize them as you like. This is why Wix has been very popular, because you really do not need a lot of coding knowledge, a lot of programming knowledge to build your own website. On the flip side, Editor X is harder to use, okay, because it's capable of much more. As we have said in this show, it is designer friendly. Okay, it's basically a more advanced version of Wix. Okay, so Editor X works pretty much the same way that Wix does, with just a few wording differences. So instead of strips, for example, they talk about sections. But at the same time, Editor X lets you do more at every level. Okay, so this is really important. And you also need to understand that if you are a developer, you already have the knowledge to navigate around a website anyway. Okay, and Editor X offers an entirely free series of lessons called Academy X. I'll speak about that later on, but it's pretty good. The Academy X allows you to constantly innovate, constantly learn, constantly have access to new knowledge. Okay, there are currently 23 lessons and 9 custom tutorials included in Academy X. Okay, and the Editor X YouTube channel is also regularly updated. So there you will find lessons for everything from the fundamentals of web design to how to work with specific features. Okay, so that's really good. So, and we love the fact that Academy X does a lot to smooth out the learning curve with Editor X. So this is really good. And one thing you need to understand is that overall, when it comes to ease of use, it's all about your level of coding. Whether you just you just want to have your own website or you're just working for the client. It also depends on your knowledge level. It depends also on your resources. It depends on your target audience. At the end of the day, please keep in mind that the Editor X is a more advanced version of the Wix tool. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about the Wix Editor X, and we're doing an in-depth review here. And I want to talk to you now about apps. So you do have a shared app market, but not all apps work with Editor X as of the date of this show. Again, Editor X has been around for nearly 2 years now, and they're still tweaking stuff. They're still working on stuff, okay? So when you think about Wix has about 300 apps in its app market to add to your site's functionality, okay? And you can add everything from blogging to e-commerce to restaurant orders to event management. You could run ads, you can book hotels, you can stream music, you can take care of social media and much more. More than 300 apps, okay? And most of these apps are free to install, but some require a paid subscription to access additional features. So this is kind of cool. And the thing is that if you open the Wix app market from Editor X, all 300 of those apps appear to be available to install because Wix has done some integration between the Wix basic products and the Wix Editor X. So you have the same interface, you have access to the same apps. However, one thing we have actually realized while doing the research here is that many Wix apps are still not compatible with Editor X. Okay, this is something that you need to think about, and if you have to make a decision, okay? So for now, it seems like the only way to know for sure if a particular app will work with Editor X is to test them out yourself. You have to go through the trial and error process that most people don't have time for, but this is what it is, okay? You definitely have to test things out yourself and see. So pick 2 or 3 apps that you are interested in that you currently use on your Wix website and test them out on the Wix Editor X and see what really works. The one thing we know for sure is that the Wix team, specifically the Editor X team, is constantly working to upgrade their process, to upgrade their tools. So maybe by the time you listen to this show, you'll probably have access to more apps that are compatible with the Editor X tool. Okay, but right now, no. So there's still work to be done on app integration into Editor X, and we think this is something that the Wix team is doing working on right now. Okay, and if you are interested in learning more about this, you can contact them through their social media handles, or you can learn more on the Academy X portal, or you can contact the Editor X team. They have an email on the website, and this is really the easiest way to reach out to them. Let's talk about pricing, folks. So when you look at Editor X versus Wix, Wix is way cheaper. But the question is, how is cheap important to you? What is the cost for value? Okay, Wix is definitely the cheaper option all the way across the board. But this is understandable because you are basically you have additional functionality and customization options if you get Editor X. Okay, so Wix comes with a free plan that includes 500 megabytes of storage, a free Wix domain, and 24/7 customer support. But in order to remove advertising, you need to connect. If you want to connect a custom domain, or you want to sell on your site, you'll need to upgrade to a premium plan. So those are the conditions for Wix. Editor X also has a free plan, but as a developer or as an agency, you probably only use this to test what the builder can do. Because if you want to build websites for clients, you're going to have to upgrade. If not for the extra storage space, then at least in order to connect custom domains and get rid of Wix's branding. Okay, and so this is really important. And so if you can try the Wix Editor Premium plan for 14 days, okay, and if you believe that this is not for you, if you decide to cancel it, you can cancel within 2 weeks, as I said, and you can receive a full refund, no questions asked. Okay, and so both the Wix and the Editor X builders include a 14-day money-back guarantee with their paid plans. Okay, so this is really good. So you can see on the screen here, we have actually, I'm showing you here on the screen, the Wix Unlimited. We have the Editor X Essential, the Wix Business Basic, and the Editor X Launch. So you can see here in terms of custom domain and free domain for a year, the storage capabilities, the customer care, the video hours. You can see that you have more video hours with the Editor X Launch. You also have, in terms of customer service, 24/7. You have unlimited products with Editor X Launch. Okay, abandon recovery and sell on social media. So you have capabilities with some of these tools. You have additional capabilities. Okay, so the main question here is whether you want to pay a little more in return for a lot more control over your site design. Okay, this is something that you need to think about. If you just want to build a simple site for yourself or your business, then it doesn't really make sense to pay extra for Editor X. Okay, and ultimately, using Editor X becomes mainly a business decision. So you need to decide whether or not you want to look at the revenue, you want to look at intuitiveness, user friendliness, you want to have control over design, all that kind of stuff. Let me talk to you about support, customer support. I think I already alluded to this before, but this is an important element. So basically, Editor X lacks dedicated customer support, mostly. Okay, and this is because the product is still under development. So there is no committed customer support for Editor X. So if you have a question, you have to go to the Wix Help Center and choose the Editor X topics. This doesn't mean that you won't get any help if you have a question, though. So you also have a spot. You have a section on your Editor X dashboard where you can access a dedicated chat bot. But again, we're speaking about speaking to machines, right? You want to talk to a live person. So this is something that you really need to think about. One thing for sure, Wix is in the process of creating a dedicated Editor X support team, Help Center included. But this might take some time, really. And however, for urgent matters about Editor X, you can still reach out to Wix over their multiple communication channels. So for example, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, you have YouTube. Okay, and if you can also go to their FAQ, to their database, and learn more about their features. Okay, you can also enroll in Academy X to learn more about the features. And one thing we want to say here, and just to sort of wrap up today's conversation, is that if you really look at the constellation of features, of apps, of integrations, of functionalities, of modules that Wix offers versus Editor X, we can say clearly that Editor X is the clear winner. Especially if you are a web developer and you want nearly limitless possibilities without having to deal with a lot of code, you want to go with Editor X. However, if you prefer, let's say you prefer a more direct and simple approach to getting a site, blog, or online store up and running, Wix will be a better choice for you. Okay, so if you're not a developer, if you're not an agency, you probably would not use the additional features that come with Editor X anyway. So this is important, okay? And remember that Wix still remains one of the most customizable builders on the market. So this is basically the decision you have to make at the end of the day. It's all about resources, but it's all about the functionalities you are looking for in a website builder tool. Okay, so Editor X, clear winner in terms of customization, but Wix is a clear winner in terms of overall tool for non-developers. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about, we were doing an in-depth review of Editor X. This is Wix Editor X, and we're also doing a little compare and contrast between the Editor X and the Wix primary tool. Okay, I spoke to you about the templates, features, ease of use, apps, the pricing, and the support. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.